This is a very interesting period of time. You could be terrified of it, or you can be scared but excited about it at the same time. Me, I'm more the scared yet excited because, like, I know in times of chaos and great shift is where the biggest bang for your buck is made if you know what you're looking at and how to maneuver. Or if you don't know how to maneuver yet, how to seek the things that'll help you get the mindset necessary to see, okay, my job might get replaced, but that means I'm free to do this.
Boom. There you go. My job might get replaced, but I'm free to do this. So in the meantime, let me start to enhance my skills and expertise.
Right.
Right? Right? That's the strategy. Develop your emotional intelligence.
Mm.
We have got to strengthen our own emotional intelligence. I didn't realize for me, and you've probably heard me talk on this before, how emotionally unstable I was. One day I was happy, next day I was sad, next day I was depressed, next day I was just up and down, up and down, up and down. And I didn't realize I needed to find emotional stability and I needed to work on my emotional intelligence so that I can be more in control of my emotional state. Another strategy to thrive in the age of AI is challenge your existing knowledge to generate new ideas. The beauty of a generative AI like ChatGPT is that it can take a ton of data, and depending upon what input you put in, it can make connections that would have taken you days, weeks, years to make. It can make that for you, and then you can use that. So you have got to be able to generate your own new ideas so that you can use AI to your advantage.
Most definitely. And the thing that is unique, and this is why I'm always concerned about people that says, well, because I'm black, I just got, I don't have any choices or chances. Everything's harder. Yeah, that could be true on a certain level. But at the end of the day, the one thing that sets us apart from most people, and I'm not saying we're better than, but sets us apart from most people is we are one of the most creative groups of people on the face of this planet. A good
Absolutely.
portion of a lot of the technologies that we experience and live in with our day-to-day activities, the foundational pieces were created by melanated people.
Yep.
And so we have ideas based on entertainment, based on things that'll help humanity, such as stoplights and similar. For some reason, in my mind, I imagine what would this world look like without stoplights? Or what would have eventually come instead of stoplights if not if it was not created.
Yeah.
I find myself thinking about stuff like that. What if we didn't have air conditioning?
Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
the world be like without peanut butter?
Yeah. Peanut butter
Just
alone.
random stuff.
Just random. I mean, that's true. And you may be the thinker of that next random thing that the world can't live without. But if you don't trust your thinking, if you're not willing to generate that idea and develop that idea, the world will never know. Another strategy is focus on your strength and build upon them. If you have a strength in communication, if you have a strength in leadership, if you have a strength in video creation, if you have a strength in writing, if you have a strength in talk, whatever you have a strength in, focus on that. This one, go above and beyond in your work. Now, sometimes, because we've been so 8 to 5 trained and we're so ready for 5 p.m. to come so we can get off, I think that mental model of work is changing. Whether you think it's going to change or not, I think it's changing. But what had developed in that mental model, and as you say, you call it mental laziness, is that you're so frustrated because you're not really doing what you want to do anyway. You can't wait to 5 o'clock so you can leave. You're not trying to get any extra because they ain't gonna pay you any extra. You're just trying to, do your job, make your time, collect your paycheck, and leave. Well, in this age of AI, you have got to be willing to go above and beyond your work.
And I want to touch on this. How many of us have heard about the possible shift in a lot of industries to the 4-hour work week?
I have.
Show of hands, drop a one, drop a heart, whatever. How many people have heard of the 4-hour work week? Oh, excuse me, the 4-day work week.
The
My
4 day
my
work
bad.
week.
The
Right.
4-day work week.
Yep. I have.
They're not doing that for y'all. I need you to look deeper into it. There's always a sleight of hand going on with a lot of stuff, especially stuff that involves our local and even national government. And it's not, I don't think it's anything to actually harm.
I don't think it's
Yeah, no,
sinister.
no, I
I
don't
really
think it's
don't.
sinister. It's not for your benefit directly. Think of it like this. During COVID, and I was actually on Brandon Ivy's 5 day challenge last night, listening into his breakdown of the metaverse. If you're looking to get into that space, I'll drop a link for that because it is free to get over there. But he was talking about the effects of COVID. And I remember seeing on the news and just different YouTube videos how when we were all inside, the earth began to repair itself.
Yep.
Like in Venice, there haven't been dolphins in the canals in decades. And the dolphins actually were swimming through the canals in Venice. So the 4 day work week is to help give the earth some alleviation, even if it's just within our country, because other countries aren't going to follow our lead when it comes to stuff like that. And honestly, we probably won't have our financial lead much longer if things don't shift in regards to how we embrace cryptocurrency, the blockchain, and the like. But
That's
that's
a
none of
whole
my
nother
business.
conversation for another day.
Right. So the 4 day work week is not only something, and you need to embrace this
Mhm.
because they're not intending it to benefit you directly, but it can benefit you in a major way because you now have 1 day of a 5 day week that you wouldn't normally have to work on your dream,
Exactly.
like a
Exactly.
whole day
Yeah.
to work on your dream. Even if your dream is creating a stronger, more connected family life for yourself, that's a
Yep.
dream worth pursuing.
Yep. I agree.
But think about it. Like a lot of us know what we don't want, but we never take time to actually figure out what do I want? What is my vision? What does the end look like?
Yep.
And that's what we mean by mental laziness. You have to think about these things and begin to work on them. Start with the end in mind and work backwards. Allow your mind to work on it and devote that. Like when you're conscious, like we are right now, we got a lot going on. But a lot of us don't realize how very powerful our minds really are because we're so distracted by baby back bull crap.
Yep. Absolutely. No,
But
you're
again,
absolutely right.
conversation for another episode. We are on what, number 7?
We are on number 6.
Oh,
Become a lifelong learner and keep up with evolving technology.
long
Yeah.
Johnson.
I am telling you, you can't keep up with it all, but you
Right.
don't have to. I would love to actually organize a group of people, women and men, who we kept up with the technology. I have one of my really good guy friends. Me and him keep each other up to date on crypto and all that type of stuff.
Hmm.
And I used to host, and I still do host. We just haven't hosted the next one, a crypto meeting where we'll talk about different things. And the whole point is you're going to have time to be able to bring something to the table that I may not have time to bring to the table. Or I may be able to look up some things that you might not be able to look up some things. You have to become a life learner because that is the only way for you to stay ahead. It's people right now, sad but true, that ain't never heard of ChatGPT, have never used ChatGPT, have never heard of Bard, have not used Bard, haven't gotten on the wait list for Bard, haven't heard of Microsoft Copilot, haven't heard of Ernie. I'm not saying that you got to be fanatic like I am. You don't have to keep up with everything because there's a lot of things I keep up with I can't use or I don't have time to do anything with it. But at
Hmm.
least I'm knowledgeable about it. But then there's some things that you have to become aware of.
Right.
For example, do you remember when emails wasn't a thing? When emails was first created?
Hmm.
You remember when the internet wasn't a thing and then when internet was first created? When the computer wasn't really a thing, but then when you really had to start using a computer, you didn't really see the convergence really of the email with the computer, with the internet, with all of these different things converging to the point where you have to know about it.
It's a part of our everyday. In addition to becoming a lifelong learner, you also maintain your mental youth.
Good point. Great point.
Your body might age, but the mind doesn't as long as you're feeding it.
Exactly. Yep. Adapt to new situations and environments. Now, this is critical because I know some of you, when you hear when Brandon was talking about, she don't want to understand why the government isn't basically investing in infrastructure geared towards these automated sort of electric vehicles to be able to travel in themselves. Well, they should. You shouldn't be afraid of these new situations and these new environments because it's happening, right? Remember, there was a time when the main transportation was horses and buggies.
Could
There's
you
this
imagine that now?
you can't see that's the thing. We can't even imagine that now, but the people who lived then couldn't imagine what we're living now. But there were certain people who could imagine the transition from horse and buggy living transportation to vehicle transportation. See, I'm of the mindset that right now there's going to be a time when we're not going to have. I'm not going to need a vehicle, not on my own. Me and you might share a vehicle. This family and that family may share a vehicle, or when I do need a vehicle, I might go to the station, put in a quarter, and rent a vehicle for a day because I need to go somewhere. But I'm not going to necessarily need the expensive vehicle. When you really start looking at what's happening in the financial world, you're looking at what's happening in the government world, you're looking at what's happening in the social world, and you start to sort of run these possibilities through your mind. It's very possible that maybe America do turn into some type of socialistic capital system, which it already technically is, but more formal, where we're in either a 4-hour work week like Tim Ferriss or a 4-day work week like what you were talking about. Because
Mhm.
they're both being created right now in the thought realm, right? Tim Ferriss got a whole book on the 4-hour work week. And there's some countries that have already implemented a 4-day work week, right?
Right.
So you got both. So even though you said that was a typing error, you actually was it was both of them are happening. And so
Exactly.
this is the thing, and then we move on to number 8. If you're not willing to create new environments and create new situations for yourself, then you're gonna have to deal with the one that I create. Or you're gonna have to deal with the one that they create. All right, I'm gonna move on. Number 8, open your mind, open your mind and question old beliefs to encourage innovation. I'm gonna say this one point, I'm gonna turn it over to you on this one. A lot of people in certain communities are stuck because they won't open their mind, they won't question old beliefs, and because they won't do those 2 things, they can never innovate. Innovation always begin with your own mind. I
Mhm.
cannot innovate the outside world if I don't innovate my own world.
Plain and simple. And with the time that some people are going to be given by switching to this 4-day work week over time, you ain't gonna have nobody but yourself to blame. In all actuality, you have nobody but yourself to blame at this point. But especially when you now have a whole day that you didn't used to have, because that's a whole 52 extra days in a year you about to have to create something that sustains you.
Oh, Brandy, America would never do that. America will never go to a 4-day work week.
Bull crap.
Bull crap.
Um, it's a inordinate percentage of the population is actually employed by the government. So a good portion of people are going to get that 4-day work week. The only question is, how long is it going to take them to work out the logistics to make that happen? That's it.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're not really researching that already.
Oh,
They haven't been
absolutely.
beginning.
They're testing it in different areas and things. Because honestly, think about it. If you implement a 4-day work week, that's less people that's going to be on the road on certain days of the week. That's less toxic fumes being thrown in the air by cars that are not fully electric yet. Like there is a bigger scheme than, hey, our people need rest.
Yeah. Are you're lazy. You want to work 4 days a week. You're lazy. Well, you know what? Sometimes when I do work 4 days a week, I work like I'm working 10 days a week. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I'm working on different things. All right. All right. Prioritize creativity over competition. Now,
Mhm.
let me tell you something. This one is critical. And because I know that we live in a capitalistic country, and I know that we've been trained a certain kind of way where it's about competition and winning, and I need to win. I'm a winner, and I'm not dismissing it. Okay, but what I am saying is that you need to enhance and prioritize your creativity over your competition. See, if I'm always focused on competing with Brandy, then I don't really know what Brandy's really got going on in her mind. Because everything that I assume about what's going on with Brandy, it's an assumption. And guess who's in control of Brandy? Brandy, not me. So if I live my life focused on trying to just to compete with Brandy, I'm gonna always lose because guess who holds the power to change Brandy's mind? Brandy, not me. So if I'm stuck trying to compete with something I don't control, then I'm stuck in a losing role.
You're a
But if I
loser.
yeah, but if I switch that and I now focus on my creative mind, now if I focus on my creative mind, then now I'm in control.
Right.
Number 10, embrace AI and incorporate it into your daily routine for improvements. Let me tell you something. Whether you work for someone, whether you work for yourself, whether you're a creator, whether you want to be a creator, whether you're sitting on the couch thinking about maybe you would like to be a creator, whatever you are right now, you need to be incorporating generative AI or AI of some form into your routine so that you can begin to play around with it so that you can begin to see how it can improve your life in every way, how it can make your work more efficient, how it can help you do something that would have taken you 8 hours and it take you 4 hours. And then you could, like Brad said, you could 4 hours, I'm done. See you next week. Okay. So now we're on number 11. So create a personal knowledge management system to optimize information. I call it creating the Bible of you, right?
Mhm.
Some people you've heard they call it the second brain, whatever connects, whatever registers. But what that basically does, okay, so I'm getting older. And Brandon, you probably heard me say this. I'm getting older. Memory ain't as good as it used to be. It's not as good, but I take my brain MD supplements to improve my memory. But if you create what I call the Bible of you, utilizing note-taking tools like a Notions or Mem AI, one of my favorite. If I'm at a conference and I'm taking notes, I'm using Mem AI. It's amazing note-taking tool, right? But what it does is it allows you. So, for instance, I told you, Brand, I said, send me that McDonald's video. When you send me that video, I'm gonna then archive that video into one of my Notions tabs, or I'll create a tab. I think I already have a running tab on how AI is going to change restaurants.
Mhm.
So I'll plug that video that you sent me, I'll plug it up there. Then let's say fast forward, one day I want to write about it. Right? I don't have to remember that video. I can go into my Notion. I already got something tabbed out and be like, boom, there go that video. If you develop about the Bible of you or your second brain, it doesn't matter that your memory get bad. AI is going to help you have the best memory. It's going to help you have the best memory because you'll be able to just whip out your phone or your iPad, open up your Notions or your meme AI, and meme AI, it'll organize your notes for you. You don't even have to tab it. It will actually, I just, and then it'll make connections.
I'm gonna
when
need that link. Send me that link. Send me that link.
huh? I'm
I
gonna
need
send
that
it. It'll say this note is connected to this note, right? It'll make those connections for you.
link. Extremely powerful. Because think about it like this, folks. When we're thinking about something, we can't remember an idea, name, a topic, or something along those lines, and we're waiting for our mind to kick it forward. Well, that time that it takes for it to kick it forward and the time that it would take to just put it into a tool like this could literally be the difference between tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the situation.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
um, still strengthen your mind, but also keep tools in place for when your mind is maybe overloaded to the point that the information that you need is to come to the forefront as quickly as you need it in that moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you. All right, number 12, cultivate a strong professional network to stay informed and connected in your industry. And it doesn't matter, it can be cross industries. It doesn't have to necessarily be just the industry that you are employed in because you may have aspirations to change industries anyway. but
Right.
have a professional network. That's why I love my connection with Brandy. Brandy, if she got a question, she pick up phone, call me. I got a question. Brandy, do this. And that's what it's all about. That's what AI can't do.
Hmm.
Right? Or just like when I was talking about meme AI, Brandy was like, send it to me. AI can't do that. Right? Because there's going to be things that I'm going to know about that Brandy may not know about. Brandy's going to
Hmm.
know about things that I may know about, right? So or we may both know about something, but don't know each other know about it. Tell each other about it and be like, oh yeah, I was reading that. And that has an effect on changing us. So I'm just telling you, you really need to cultivate a strong professional network. 13, emphasize soft skills such as communication, teamwork, problem solving, which is harder for AI to replicate. Now, the reason why I say that, I said it's harder because remember I said earlier, I'm done with thinking things are impossible. If you
Hmm.
think it, it's possible, even if it
Right.
may not be possible in our lifetime. The reason why I say it's maybe harder for AI to replicate, but I didn't say that it was not possible for AI to replicate because I actually think that there's going to be a day when AI will be able to replicate everything that we do.
Hmm.
Everything that we do.
That part.
Engage in continuous professional development through workshops, online courses, conferences to stay up to date in your field.
I would just like to say Udemy is one of my favorite platforms to learn new skills on. It's where I learned digital marketing, creating the digital flyers and backgrounds and things that I learned through courses on there.
Yeah.
I learned about history of Forex on there. And you
Yeah.
got Thinkific.
I use Course RA. I literally pay a monthly subscription to Course RA. Every time I keep saying I'm gonna get rid of it, I'll be like, it's so inexpensive. When I want to learn a new skill, I literally can take a weekend, right? And take half a course. Now, sometimes I'll start courses and don't finish them because once I kind of get what I want out of the course, then I'll move on because I'm not necessarily trying to get another degree.
To edit videos. Come think of it, I've downloaded a course on Udemy about DaVinci Resolve. That's what I use when I'm doing my video
Oh, I think I
editing.
heard of
And
that.
I had no idea. I had no idea how to use it. I was like, this looks complicated as a mofo. I learned how to use that joker in like 2 hours, y'all.
Yeah. But no, it's the truth. You will find these different tools, and some of them you pay for. Like I pay for Course RA, but you don't have to pay for it. But there's so many people that give free content out. You can start with the free content, you can build from there, but you have to cultivate your knowledge and take these online courses. Pay these teachers, these coaches that are doing these courses so that they can keep doing these courses. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of my knowledge that I have now didn't come from my $200,000 degrees. It came from paying Lisa Nichols $2,000 to write better. I'm a big Bilyeu fan, and I was part of Impact Theory University for a very long time. And I may have paid $100 a month to be a part of it. You learn so much because it's about the creative mind. Sometimes we forget that because we're so stuck in the competition. It's the creative mind, and that's what you have to build up. All right, we're number 15.
Yep.
Focus on industries and job roles that are less susceptible to automation, such as healthcare, creative fields, and human centered professions. Now, with that being said, AI coming for healthcare. However, remember, we're not saying that AI has to replace you.
Mhm.
We're saying that you have to be able to control AI. You have to become so knowledgeable that you can use AI better. So you're the one that's controlling the AI. See,
Right.
AI doesn't have to disrupt me, but it'll disrupt me if I don't know it's coming. But now if you watch this, you now know what's coming and you can use these 17 strategies. And I'm not saying that these are the only strategies, there's tons more, but you can use these 17 strategies to start and figure out which ones connect with you. Number 16, maintain a growth mindset and be prepared to pivot your career if needed. Now, I don't know about you, Brandon. When I first heard about growth mindset, I read a book by Carol DeWitt that's called Growth Mindset. And that book really was very instrumental in helping me develop what she calls a growth mindset. You can call it what you want. If you don't like the term, fine. I actually now call it mental wealth.
Mhm.
But mental wealth is a growth mindset. It's basically your sense of everything that you need to do what you want to do, you have. And if you
Mhm.
don't have it, you can get it. You
Right.
can build that skill. And so you maintain that growth mindset.
And everybody got a taste of what that pivot looks like, especially during this period of COVID. And again, I, among other folks that I associate with indirectly or otherwise, believe that COVID was just kind of a test of something bigger that might be coming later on. So when kids were at home, they were testing and seeing like how successful were children able to be taught in the home via technology rather than a full-on classroom setting. And at the end of the day, when that occurred, they realized what 60 some odd percent of kids were still successful outside of the classroom.
But they only focus on the 40% that wasn't.
Well, that's what mainstream media focuses on.
Yeah.
That's not what the people that were running the tests are focuses on. Because at the end of the day, think about it. Our employment setup in this country is bloated. We don't need as many workers that work these jobs that do. If that makes sense whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, what we come back to that Pareto principle.
That Pareto principle.
20% of the people are doing 80% of the work. So what the heck do they need everybody for? They've
Yeah.
just been locating who the 20% are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. And and it's happening. I was reading an article today. More massive layoffs are coming.
They're
So,
laying people off and they're calling it layoffs, but all they're doing is testing, okay, where did the productivity shift when we let this set of people go?
yep.
Okay, let's look at this. Okay, we let go of 60 people. Let's take 30% of that number and run their employment record or their activity when on the different networks at whatever
The
employer is
productivity levels.
considering
Yeah.
this. And they look at your numbers, they realize, oh, your productivity level is 40% higher than the next person. We might bring you back.
And then they're going to feed AI in there because some of these companies are laying off because they're beginning to realize some things they can get AI to do, or I can get AI to do it with Brandy because Brandy is already productive and efficient. AI is just going to make her even more productive and efficient,
Yeah. So I
right?
can do the work of two people. Now I can do the work of six because AI is now my new tool and partner in crime.
But not only can you do the job of six people, you can do the job of six people without being overworked.
Ding, 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 ding,
All
ding.
right, number 17. The 17th strategy to thrive in the age of AI is collaborate with AI and learn how to leverage the capabilities to augment your own work and productivity. AI thinking and human thinking, they do not have to be at odds with each other. They can collaborate together. They can work together. And you have to open your mind that right now life ain't what you thought it was. Life is becoming something anew and you can help to mold and shape it. And I guess for me, Brandon, I want to live the rest of my life and I contribute to the world that I'm living in, that I'm subjected to.
Correct. We want to encourage you to join us in the Juneteenth Blackout group on Facebook and email us directly at connect@oncodeShow.com to give us feedback on what you thought about this episode, this information. If you want us to expound on something, if you want to hold a group Zoom and have a group conversation about what we covered today, reach out.
If you like a copy of the 17 strategies, we want to provide what you would like to hear and what you would like to know. We're both learners and we're sharers and we're givers.
And if you love what we're doing, of course, support us by purchasing merch. We got journals, we got cups, we got shirts, we got it all. But the point of it is to create better content and be on here more often for you guys. So as that continues to grow, our capabilities of sharing more content such as this and plugging you into things that you don't even know are out there to be plugged into, such as the Dr. Boyce Watkins and Dr. Clyde Andersons and Dr. Joy DeGruy, if you're looking to
Yeah.
learn why, though you might have not have been directly traumatized, you still feel traumatized. You want to
Yes.
look at her work. It's
Yes.
powerful. We have reached
Powerful.
the end of this episode, and we love the fact that you tuned in with us today. And we wish you guys the best. Keep working on your mindsets, keep working on your physical health, your mental wealth.
You know what? I'll end it like I always end all of my videos. Brain health is mental wealth.
Yeah, that sound about right. Better keep it on point, cause you never know. No, I ain't lying. Them crazy ones still creeping you slow. They know who they are. Even if you can't do it, act like a pro. You already know. Yeah, adjust to the system, but keep it on code. Solid. I ain't allowed to go against the code. Make a little money good, do it like a pro. Knowledge from the ancestor realm is the goal. Everybody want peace, but the answer inside of the soul. Got us all trapped in the system, the matrix. And when you climb to the top, they hate it. Invest in your craft. That's the best way to make it. Addressing the trauma, oppressing your greatness. That's the best way to make it. Addressing the trauma, oppressing your